Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Story Corner. Get comfortable, dim the lights, and let yourself drift away with tonight's tale. If you're feeling tired, stressed, or just need a moment of peace, you're in the right place. This story is a gentle escape, made just for you. Tonight, we have a beautiful story ready to help you relax and sleep. I hope it brings you comfort and a restful night. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, leave a gentle comment, and subscribe for more peaceful nights. Your support helps this channel grow. What kind of calm stories help you sleep best? You can tell me in the comments, so let's start the story. Tonight the story name is The Sleepy Dog, a 2-hour cozy bedtime story, part 1 of 30. The old guard Barnaby was a very old dog. Once the fierce guardian of the Willowbrook farm, his bones now ached in the cold, and his naps by the kitchen fire grew longer and deeper. His humans, though kind, were busy with a new, playful puppy. Barnaby felt his purpose, like his eyesight, gently fading. One afternoon, he caught a scent on the wind, not of rabbit or fox, but of warm sun on dry grass, of quiet earth, and of perfect, endless peace. It was the scent of Napper's Grove, a place from the old stories whispered by his mother. A place where a tired dog could finally stop guarding, stop aching, and just sleep. With one last, fond look at the farmhouse, Barnaby turned and walked slowly into the woods, following the scent of rest. Part 2 of 30, the guide in the rushes. The woods were deep, but the scent was a clear path. As dusk fell, Barnaby came to a slow-moving stream. There, perched on a reed, was a plump, elderly frog with one eye half closed in a permanent, wise-looking blink. "You're on the sleeper's path," the frog croaked, not unkindly. "I am Jeremiah. I guide those who can no longer hop. The path is long for old bones. Are you sure, friend?" Barnaby lay down, his joints creaking. "I am tired," he whuffed softly. "The farm has a new guardian. My watch is over." Jeremiah nodded. "Then rest here tonight. The stream sings lullabies. We start at first light. The journey is not a chase, it is a slow walk towards quiet." Part 3 of 30, the memory Linnea. As they walked the next day, the path did strange things. Passing a particular mossy log, Barnaby was suddenly a puppy again, tumbling with his littermates in a blur of squeaks and warm fur. The memory wasn't just in his mind, he felt the grass, smelled his mother. A little further, the scent of wild mint threw him into the memory of his first successful rabbit chase, the thrill of the wind in his ears. "Ah," said Jeremiah, seeing him pause. "The path shows you your life. Not the pain, but the joy. It is making a bed of memories for you to rest upon in the grove." Barnaby walked on, each remembered chase, each sunbeam nap, each proud bark at a passing cart, making his heart feel both heavier and lighter. Part 4 of 30, the bridge of Lettingathy reached a narrow, wooden bridge over a deep gorge. On this side, the air was crisp with memory. On the other side, a soft, golden haze shimmered. But the bridge looked fragile. "To cross," croaked Jeremiah, "you must leave behind what you guarded. Not the love, but the weight of the duty." Barnaby sat. He thought of the sheep, the chickens, the farmhouse door. He had carried their safety for a lifetime. One by one, he pictured them, safe and sound, and gently set the feeling of responsibility down on the path behind him. As he did, the bridge seemed to grow more solid. He walked across, and with each step, the stiffness in his shoulders eased. He was no longer a guardian. He was just Barnaby, walking towards rest. Part 5 of 30, the fields of afternoon sun. On the other side of the bridge, the world changed. The path wound through endless, gentle fields bathed in the perpetual golden light of a late summer afternoon. The air was warm, the grass soft. Every few paces, Barnaby found a perfect, dog-sized hollow in the ground, warmed by the sun. "This is where travelers rest," Jeremiah said. "Sleep here. There is no hurry in this light." Barnaby curled into one of the hollows. It fit him perfectly. For the first time in years, he fell asleep without listening for foxes or worrying about the cold. He slept dreamlessly, deeply, cradled by the sun and the earth. He wasn't going to sleep, he was practicing it. Part 6 of 30, The Whispering Woods. Beyond the sun-warmed fields, the path led into a forest where the light fell in quiet, green shafts. This was the Whispering Woods. The trees here were ancient, their bark soft with moss, and they spoke not in words, but in feelings. As Barnaby passed a great oak, a wave of deep-rooted patience washed over him. From a slender birch, he felt a memory of fresh beginnings. A grandfatherly pine offered the steady, unchanging comfort of a long watch. The woods weren't telling him stories, they were sharing the essence of what it meant to stand in one place for centuries, witnessing seasons come and go without hurry. Listen, Jeremiah croaked softly from his perch on Barnaby's shoulder, where he now rode. They are giving you their stillness. Take it into your old bones. Barnaby walked slower, his breathing sinking with the rustle of a million leaves. The ache in his hips softened, not gone, but joined by a greater, older ache, the patient ache of the earth itself, which held no complaint. He was learning to be still. Part 7 of 30, The Companionable Cat. Resting at a clearing, Barnaby met another traveler. She was a sleek, elderly tabby cat, her fur tipped with silver, washing a paw with fastidious care. "You're on the sleeper's path too," she stated, not looking up. "I am," Barnaby replied. "I am Barnaby." "Matilda," said the cat. She finished her paw and regarded him with luminous green eyes. "I have followed the scent of a sunbeam that never moves, never fades, and is never invaded by clumsy feet. I hear it shines at the end of this path. I follow the scent of perfect rest," Barnaby said. Matilda gave a slow blink, the highest form of feline agreement. "Then our purposes are aligned, if our tastes differ. Shall we walk together? The path is less monotonous with a conversation that requires no talking." They fell into step, a comfortable distance apart. Their silence was a shared one, full of mutual respect for a life of independent watchfulness now drawing to a close. Part 8 of 30, The Hill of Distant Barks. The path began to slope upwards onto a long, rolling hill. As they climbed, sounds came to them on the breeze. Not bird call, but the faint, joyful echoes of barks. Puppy yips of discovery, happy woofs at the sight of a beloved human, contented grumbles after a good meal. Barnaby's ears, which usually lay flat, twitched and turned. "Those are my barks." "Not just yours," Matilda purred, her ears also swiveling. "I hear the satisfied purrs of 1,000 sunbeam naps. The hill echoes with the happy noises of a life well lived. It is a pleasant hill." For Barnaby, it was more than pleasant. Each distant bark was a bookmark in the story of his life. The frantic, proud bark when he herded the sheep for the first time. The warning bark at the rustling hedge that turned out to be just the wind. The soft, welcoming woof when his human child came home from school. He had spoken his love, his duty, and his joy in this language, and now the hill was playing it all back to him as a gentle, echoing farewell symphony. Part 9 of 30, The Old Horse and the Eternal Oats. Near the hill's crest, they found an old cart horse, his coat gone white around his muzzle, standing in a patch of particularly lush clover. He nodded a great, slow nod as they approached. "Good day," he rumbled, his voice like stones turning in a deep stream. "The scent of the oats here is strong. Not the eating of them, mind you. Just the promise of them. The eternal possibility of a good meal, with no plow to pull afterwards. My name is Atlas. I am Barnaby. This is Matilda. We seek the grove." Atlas sighed, a sound of deep contentment. "A good place. I'll be along. I'm just savoring the scent a while longer. A lifetime of moving forward. It's a luxury to stand perfectly still." Barnaby understood. They rested with Atlas, not talking, just being still together, the dog who guarded, the cat who observed, and the horse who pulled. Their services were done. Now, they were just creatures, waiting patiently and without pain for the well-earned gift of peace. Part 10 of 30, the final ascent. The top of the hill of distant barks revealed the final leg of the journey. Before them lay a last, gentle valley, and at its head rose a soft, green hill, larger than the rest. It was bathed in a light that seemed to come from within the grass and leaves themselves. A calm, golden haze hung over it. No path was visible, but the scent of home, of safety, of final, deep sleep, was overwhelming. There, Jeremiah croaked, his voice full of a frog's version of reverence. The grove. Matilda's tail twitched. The sunbeam is there. I can see its light. Atlas nodded. The oats will be sweetest there. Barnaby's tired heart beat a slow, steady rhythm of yes. This was it. The final walk. He looked at his companions. Without a word, they began the descent into the valley together, a small procession of old souls, walking side by side for the last stretch of the long, gentle road home. Part 11 of 30, the keeper of the grove. The base of the glowing hill was guarded by a gateway that wasn't built, but grown. Two immense, ancient willow trees stood opposite each other, their long, trailing branches forming a curtain of living green and soft gold light. It was the gentlest gate imaginable. Between the trees sat a badger. He was old, his fur striped with silver, and he sat with a posture of immense, peaceful patience. He was the keeper of yawns. As the travelers approached, he regarded them with dark, kind eyes that held the wisdom of long nights spent in quiet earth. Welcome, weary ones, he said, his voice a soft rumble. The grove is ready. But it asks for a token, not of gold, but of memory. A story of a life lived well. Who will speak first? Atlas, the old horse, stepped forward. I pulled the plow for 30 springs. I felt the soil turn under me, and I knew my strength was making things grow. My story is in the straight furrows of Willowbrook Farm. The willow branches shivered, as if nodding. Matilda sat neatly. I kept the barn free of mice for 99 moons. I did it with quiet pride, and napped in the loft sunbeam every afternoon. My story is in the peace of a granary undisturbed. The branches shivered again, all eyes turned to Barnaby. Part 12 of 30, Barnaby's story. Barnaby sat, the weight of his years feeling solid and real. He thought not of his aches, but of his duty. I guarded, he began, his voice a low, breathy waffle. The sheep from the wolf in the deep winter. The chickens from the sly fox. The farmhouse door from any night sound that meant harm. He paused, remembering. But my best guarding was not with teeth or bark. He looked up at the keeper. My human had a pup. A small, two-legged one. Timid. The woods scared her. I would walk with her to the edge of the orchard. Not too close. Just there. She would pick flowers, and I would lie in the grass, watching the path. She knew I was watching. She would talk to the flowers, and I would listen. My story is in the quiet space around a child who felt safe enough to sing to daisies because an old dog was on watch. The silence that followed was deep and approving. The willow branches didn't just shiver, they slowly, gracefully parted, revealing a path of softest moss leading up into the glowing hill. Part 13 of 30, the parting of companions. The gate was open. The final scent of the grove, of sun-warmed earth, of clean straw, of a faint hint of his human's hand washed over Barnaby, making his eyes droop with immediate, blissful tiredness. Jeremiah the frog hopped from his shoulder onto a willow root. My guidance ends here, friend. My stream is back that way, and it has a perfect, muddy spot with my name on it. Sleep well, Barnaby. Matilda brushed once, gently, against Barnaby's foreleg, the greatest honor a cat can bestow. I see my sunbeam just up the hill to the left. Do not visit, It is for one. She padded through the gate, her tail held high in serene satisfaction. Atlas nudged Barnaby's ear softly with his great nose. I'll find a field of clover that never ends. Look for me over the next rise. He walked through, his heavy, patient steps making no sound on the moss. Barnaby was alone at the gate, but not lonely. They had been fellow travelers. Now, each would find their own perfect version of peace. Part 14 of 30, entering the grove. Barnaby walked through the gate. The air changed. It was the perfect temperature, not warm, not cool, just exactly what his old body needed. The light was a perpetual, golden late afternoon glow. Before him, the hill unfolded into a landscape crafted from the best memories of a dog's soul. There was a stream that chuckled exactly like the one by the farm. There were trees with just the right amount of shade. There were soft hollows in the grass, and the air carried the comforting, faint smells of a kitchen hearth and fallen autumn leaves, but it was not empty. In the distance, he saw the hazy, peaceful forms of other old dogs, each in their own perfect spot, sleeping deeply. Some were curled, some were stretched out, all were utterly at rest. There was no need for greetings. They were all here for the same reason, the long, good sleep. Part 15 of 30, finding his spot. Barnaby didn't have to search. His paws carried him, as if remembering a path he'd walked in dreams 1,000 times. He crested a small, gentle rise, and there it was. It was under an oak tree that looked exactly like his favorite one from the farmyard, the one he'd napped under for years. The grass here was especially thick and soft. And there, waiting, was the faded, familiar scent of his old wool blanket, the one he'd slept on as a pup and worn to threads as an elder. He walked in a slow circle 3 times, an ancient ritual of settling. Each turn was slower than the last. On the third, his legs gently folded beneath him, and he settled into the hollow his body had made in the memory of this spot over a lifetime. He let out a long, slow sigh. It was a sigh that carried out the last remnants of watchfulness, the last tiny worry for the sheep, the final alertness for a stranger's step. He laid his head on his paws, facing down the hill the way he always slept, guard facing the world. Old habits, even in paradise, die a peaceful death. Part 16 of 30, the final breath of watchfulness in the grove. Time was not a river but a still, deep pool. Barnaby felt the sun of 1,000 perfect afternoons on his coat, heard the whisper of a friendly breeze that never chilled, and smelled the eternal, comforting sense of home. His breathing, which had been labored on the long walk, eased into a rhythm as slow and steady as the turning of the earth. He was not asleep yet. He was in the precious, weightless space just before. In that space, his mind, finally free of duty, began to walk one last memory path. Not of chases or barks, but of quiet moments, the weight of a child's hand on his head, the taste of first snow, the sound of his name called across a field at dusk. Each memory was a stone, smoothed by time, and he placed them gently around his resting place, building a final, invisible nest of love. Then, he let go of the path. He let go of the memory of walking. He simply was. The feeling of his own body began to soften, merging with the warmth of the earth beneath him and the golden light above. The line between Barnaby the dog and the peace of the grove began to gently, beautifully blur. Part 17 of 30, the last dream. As the world of senses softened, a final dream came. Not a dream of the past, but of the now. In the dream, he was standing on the hill overlooking Willowbrook Farm. He saw the sheep, safe in their pen. He saw the new puppy, now grown sturdy, lying confidently by the farmhouse door, one ear cocked at a sparrow. He saw his human, sitting on the porch steps at dusk, looking out at the orchard with a quiet smile. In the dream, he gave one last, soft woof, a sound not of warning, but of blessing. A sound that said, all is well. The watch is yours now. The puppy on the porch twitched its ear in its sleep. The human felt a sudden, warm surge of affection and memory, and absent-mindedly rubbed the spot between the new dog's ears. The watch had been passed, not with ceremony, but with the seamless quiet of life continuing. In his dream, Barnaby saw it, and his dog's heart was satisfied. His work was complete. Part 18 of 30, the deepening back in the grove, the dream faded into a feeling. The feeling was of being held, cradled, cherished. It was the sum of every pat, every kind word, every bowl of food set down with love. His breathing grew slower. Slower. Each breath was like a gentle wave washing further up a shore of perfect peace, then receding a little less each time. There was no struggle. No fear. Only a profound, welcoming tiredness, the kind felt after a long, good day's work in the sun. He was not disappearing. He was becoming part of something larger and softer. The guardian was stepping down from his post, and the universe itself was opening its arms to give him his reward, the deepest, most untroubled sleep imaginable. Part 19 of 30, the sleep and then, he slept. It was not the sleep of exhaustion or of waiting for morning. It was the sleep that is an end and a destination in itself. His chest rose and fell one final, whisper-soft time, and then was still, but in the grove, stillness did not mean absence. As his breath joined the gentle breeze, his steadfast loyalty became part of the enduring strength of the oak above him. His warm heart joined the perpetual, gentle warmth of the grove's sun. His watchful spirit softened into the peaceful, protective haze that hung over the hill. Barnaby the dog was gone. But the essence of Barnaby, the love, the loyalty, the quiet courage remained, diffused into the very fabric of this peaceful place. He had not died. He had finally, completely, and eternally rested. Part 20 of 30, the Willowbrook Farm, the missing back at the farm, the absence was felt. It was a quiet missing. His human didn't find him on his rug one morning. The new dog, Scout, sniffed all of Barnaby's old spots, whining softly that afternoon. The human walked out to the big oak in the yard, Barnaby's favorite spot. They stood there, feeling the emptiness. Then, they did what humans do to mend tears in the fabric of their world. They planted something. A small, weeping willow sapling, its young branches already trailing like tears, went into the earth right where the old dog's hollow had been. It was a gesture of love, of memory, and of faith that beautiful things grow even from loss. They watered it, patted the earth, and Scout came and lay down beside it, as if keeping the new, growing thing company. Part 21 of 30, the first spring without him. Spring came to Willowbrook Farm. The willow sapling by the oak tree put out its first tender, green leaves. Scout, the new dog, had grown into his role, his barks higher pitched but just as earnest. One warm afternoon, as the human sat on the porch, Scout was playing near the willow tree. He stopped suddenly, his nose twitching. He trotted to the base of the young tree, sniffed intently, and then did a curious thing. He didn't bark or dig. He simply lay down in its dappled shade, heaved a deep, contented sigh, and fell into a sudden, profound sleep. His breathing was slow and even, his paws twitching with happy dreams. The human watched, a soft smile touching their lips. They couldn't smell what Scout smelled, the faint, ghostly scent of warm fur, dry grass, and deep peace that seemed to emanate from the spot. It was a comforting scent, a scent that whispered rest. Part 22 of 30, the whisper in the wind. Seasons turned. The willow tree grew, its branches creating a canopy of whispering leaves. The children of the farm, who had heard stories of the old dog Barnaby, liked to play under it. They claimed it was the best place for quiet games and secret telling. Sometimes, on very still summer evenings when the wind died down, you could hear it. Not a bark, but a sound. If you listened with your heart more than your ears, it was there, the soft, rhythmic sound of a large, gentle animal breathing in its sleep. It was the sound of contentment so deep it had seeped into the roots of the tree and the stones of the earth. Parents would hush their children and say, "Listen. That's the sound of a good dog resting." And for a moment, the noisy play would stop, and a blanket of calm would settle over the yard, as if the old guardian was still watching over them, in the gentlest way possible. Part 23 of 30, the unseen comfort. Years passed. The farm saw its share of hardships, a harsh winter, a difficult harvest. In times of worry, the human would often find themselves walking to the willow tree. They wouldn't do anything. They'd just stand there, a hand on its now strong trunk, and look out over the land Barnaby had once guarded, and every time, without fail, a sense of calm would settle over them. It wasn't that solutions magically appeared. It was that the frantic edge of the worry would soften. The feeling was one of endurance, of quiet strength, of the knowledge that challenges, like seasons, pass. It felt like the steadfast spirit of an old dog was saying, "Steady now. All is well. Breathe." The tree had become more than a memorial. It was a sanctuary, a touchstone for peace. Part 24 of 30, Scout's understanding. Scout grew old himself. His muzzle grew gray, and he moved with the same deliberate care Barnaby once had. On his stiffest days, he would always make his way to the willow tree and lie in its exact spot, his old bones seeming to settle easier in the earth there. One evening, as he lay there with the human scratching his ears, he looked up with his clouding eyes. In that moment, the human felt a sudden, clear understanding pass between them, not through words, but through shared memory and love. Scout knew. He knew this spot was special, and he knew why. He was connected to the old dog he'd never met by the chain of loyalty that binds all good dogs to a place and a person. When Scout's own time came, he went to sleep one final time under that willow, his head resting on his paws, in the same peaceful hollow. The cycle was gentle and complete. Part 25 of 30, The Legacy Grove. And what of Napper's Grove? It endured, timeless and serene. If you could see with a spirit's eyes, you would see that the glowing hill was ever so slightly brighter, the peace ever so slightly deeper, because a loyal heart now rested within it. Barnaby's oak tree was always in dappled shade. The scent of his old blanket never faded. And sometimes, the other sleeping souls in the grove, the cats in their sunbeams, the horses in their clover, would sense a particularly steadfast, gentle presence watching over the peaceful slopes, not with the alertness of a guard, but with the contentment of one who knows his watch is finally, forever, done. He had become part of the peace. Part 26 of 30, The Scent on the New Puppy. Generations passed at Willowbrook Farm. The old human was gone, their children grown. A new family lived there now, with a new, clumsy puppy named Pip who tripped over his own paws. One afternoon, Pip was chasing butterflies and tumbled right into the base of the great willow tree, now a towering, graceful giant. He yelped, then stopped. He sniffed the air, his little tail beginning to wag slowly, then with growing certainty he didn't know the story of Barnaby. But he smelled something in that spot, something that made him feel safe, brave, and deeply at home. It was the composite scent of all the good dogs who had loved this farm, a little bit of Scout's playful energy, and beneath it, the deep, steady, warm smell of Barnaby's devotion. Pip made the spot his own. He would nap there, chew his toys there, watch the world from there. The legacy was not a ghost, it was a foundation. Each new dog built their own life upon the bedrock of peace and loyalty left by the ones who came before. Part 27 of 30, The Stories Told. The family at Willowbrook heard the old stories from neighbors. The tale of the old dog who walked into the woods, and the willow tree that was planted for him. It became a bedtime story they told their children. And they say, a parent would whisper, that if you are very quiet and your heart is a little sad, you can still hear him. Not a bark, but a sigh. The sigh of a good dog who is finally, perfectly, resting. The children loved the story. It didn't scare them, it comforted them. It taught them that love doesn't end, it changes shape. It becomes a tree, a story, a feeling of safety under familiar branches. Barnaby had become part of the farm's lore, a gentle spirit of protection woven into its very soil. Part 28 of 30, The Two Groves. On a spiritual level, the connection between the farm and Napper's Grove remained. The willow tree at Willowbrook was like a living root, tapping into the deep, calm energy of the grove. On quiet nights, the breeze through its leaves seemed to carry two melodies. One was the earthly sound of wind and rustle. The other, felt more than heard, was the slow, synchronous breath of countless sleeping animals in a sun-drenched afterlife. The tree stood as a bridge between the world of doing and guarding, and the world of resting and dreaming. A child napping under it might dream of running through endless sunny fields with a kind, gray-muzzled friend. They would wake feeling they had been cared for, even in their sleep. Part 29 of 30, the eternal afternoon in the grove itself. Time held no meaning. It was always the perfect, warm temperature of a late afternoon after a long, satisfying walk. The light was always golden, the grass always soft. If a being from our world could visit, they would feel an overwhelming sense of rightness. This was where good hearts came to be unburdened. Here, the anxious cat finally relaxed its constant watch. The brave horse finally felt no harness. The loyal dog finally stood down. Barnaby's essence was fully integrated. He was the feeling of safety that pervaded a particular sun-dappled slope. He was the extra softness in the grass under the grandest oak. He was not a memory here, he was a permanent, peaceful fact. Part 30 of 30, a good dog's sleep. And so, the story ends where it began, with sleep. In the farmhouse, Pip the dog, now old and gray himself, pads slowly to his favorite spot under the willow. He turns 3 times, just as another dog did long ago, and settles with a grunt of satisfaction. He closes his eyes. His breathing slows. As he drifts off, the boundary between the farmyard and the grove thins for a moment. He smells not just earth and grass, but sun-warmed wildflowers and endless peace. In his dream, he is not old. He is running, effortlessly, through fields of gold alongside a steady, kind-eyed dog with a gray muzzle. They run not to chase, but for the joy of running together. Then, they find a perfect spot under a familiar oak, and they lie down to rest. Back in the farmyard, Pip's breathing evens out into the deep, slow rhythm of perfect sleep. The willow leaves whisper above him, the watch continues with new dogs and new hearts. But in a hidden grove that exists just on the other side of memory, where the sun never sets and the grass is always soft, an old guardian sleeps on. Not lost, but found. Not gone, but finally, fully, and forever at rest. His was a good life. And now, his is a good sleep. The very best kind. This is the polite request at the end, after the story is finished. I truly hope you enjoyed this story and are feeling peaceful. If it helped you relax, please let me know with a like. It really helps me know what you enjoy. For more stories like this, you can always subscribe. Until next time, sleep well. Thank you for listening. If this story helped you unwind, please leave a like or a short comment to let me know. Your feedback is what guides the next story. Subscribe to not miss our next cozy adventure. Wishing you a wonderful night.